Hey, what's up, Brad?
Dude, I need your help.
Well, what's going on?
We have a crisis, bro.
Is the app down?
It's worse than that. I climbed on the bathroom scale this morning.
What did it tell you?
I've just snuck into my office. The family's still sleeping. And before I share with you the absolute show that was on the bathroom scale this morning, there is a bit of a backstory. So in July 2009, I met someone who had a profound impact on me. It was about 3 weeks after the Comrades Marathon. And if you don't know, the Comrades Marathon is the world's largest and oldest ultramarathon. It's run in South Africa every year between Pietermaritzburg and Durban. It's 56 miles or just under 90 kilometers. It is huge. I mean, 20,000 entries every single year. As far as an iconic event in South Africa, I think everybody knows someone who has run Comrades. And on Raceday, it's broadcast on our national broadcaster, all 12 hours of it. And I remember as a kid, my dad has run a whole number of them. He's run 11. And I remember as a kid, if I wasn't on the side of the road at Comrades, we would be waking up at 5:30 in the morning. It's middle of winter, it's freezing cold, and we'd be watching to see if we recognize or see anybody on TV that we know who was running. And Richard was wearing this golf shirt and had a slight limp. And I said to him, "Oh, did you run Comrades a few weeks ago?" And he just brushed me off, didn't really sort of say anything. We had our meeting, and after the meeting, he said to me, "Do you want to know the story about the Comrades shirt?" And I said, "Please tell me." And he went on to tell me about how a number of years prior to that, he ended up in hospital after having a stroke, and it was purely out of bad lifestyle choices. He was overweight, he was unfit, ended up in hospital in a wheelchair, unable to walk. His friend said to him, "Richard, what are you going to do?" And the first thing he blurted out was, "I'm going to run the Comrades Marathon." And he went on to tell me about how after he was discharged from hospital, he was sitting in his kitchen in his wheelchair, and he had learned to stand again. And he would pull himself up on his kitchen countertops, and then he would fall back down into his chair once he had lost strength. Then he would pull himself back up and he would fall back down into his chair. And he did this over and over and over. Eventually he learned to stand and then learned to walk again. And started running and qualified to run the Comrades Marathon. And at his first attempt, he ended up missing a cutoff about 2/3 into the race. And that nearly killed him. After that, he had to have major back surgery. He then came back and finished the Comrades Marathon in 2007. A phenomenal story. He made it with a few minutes to spare. And I remember driving home from that meeting that afternoon. I was just so inspired by Richard's story that I decided, you know what, I want to run the Comrades Marathon. And I knew that I was going to have challenges. I was overweight and unfit. But if Richard could do it, I could do it. I got home and I thought, you know what, I need to face facts. I jumped on the bathroom scale and it was frightening. I weighed 165 kgs or 365 pounds. But I decided that I was going to do this. I went and Googled my local running club. So I started training, and that first training session was extremely hard. I made it twice around a local sports field. In that first session, I did less than a kilometer. It was less than half a mile, and really struggled. It was more walking than running to start with, but the journey had started. In March 2010, I needed to run a marathon as part of my preparations for Comrades. I'd never run a marathon in my life. In order to run Comrades, you have to run a marathon within a specific time, and back then it was under 5 hours. I ran that marathon, my first marathon, at 145 kilograms or just over 300 pounds, and I snuck in with just over a minute to spare, but I'd qualified and nothing could stop me. I was going to be on the start line of Comrades, and I was absolutely over the moon. At around about the same time, my mom had been diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer, and she was fighting a really hard battle. I was working for a regional radio station at the time. I was doing the afternoon drive, and I just thought, you know what, I'm going to up the ante a bit, and I'm going to raise some money for charity, so there's definitely no backing out on Comrades. And I wanted to run Comrades in support of my mom. And as I was getting stronger and stronger towards Comrades Raceday, she was getting weaker and weaker. And I ran my first ultra marathon a few weeks after that first marathon, managed to finish that. As we were getting closer and closer to Comrades Raceday, my mom was getting weaker and weaker. And it was exactly 2 weeks out from Raceday. I remember I was on air, I was in studio, it was a Sunday morning, and it was about 6:30 in the morning. My cell phone rang, it was my wife, and she never phoned me while I was on air, so I knew it was something serious. And I answered the phone, and she told me that my mom had passed away in her sleep the night before. It's quite hard. I haven't spoken about this in ages. But so those 2 weeks from my mom passing away to Comrades Raceday are an absolute blur. I know we had my mom's funeral, and I know we raised a whole lot more money for breast cancer charity, but the rest of it I don't remember at all. And I remember lining up on Raceday, and the Comrades start is something else. It's so hard to describe it. I mean, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. But you're standing on the start line of a sporting event that you've watched your entire life. Think of the Super Bowl, think of the World Cup. And all of a sudden, you're standing on the start line of this race, singing the national anthem, knowing that there are going to be millions of people watching this race, and you're one of the competitors. It is the most incredible feeling in the world. And I remember standing on that start line, just being so grateful that I was physically able to get to that point after everything that had happened in the previous year. Richard's story inspiring me to get going, my mom passing away. And race day itself was really tough. It was probably the hardest thing I've ever done. Along the way, I laughed, I mourned, I cried, I just celebrated, and it was an amazing day out. But unfortunately, I ended up missing one of the cutoffs. And ironically enough, it was the same cutoff that Richard missed. So about 2/3 into the race, I got into the early 60 kilometers. That was it. My race was over. And I remember I got a ride back to the stadium where the race finishes in one of the sort of support vehicles. And I remember sitting on the sidewalk outside the stadium, waiting for my wife to come get me. And I was absolutely sobbing. I just felt like I'd let everyone down, that I let everybody who donated to charity, everybody who had supported me over that year, and especially my mom. I felt like I let her down. Man, this is still so many years later, it's still so hard to talk about. I made the decision then that I was going to come back a year later and finish what I started. So I got home after that race feeling really deflated and decided that I needed to rest up, obviously first up because I was in a lot of pain, but I needed to really make it happen. And my brother had done his first Ironman earlier that year and said to me, why don't you come and do some cross training with me? Get on the bike, start swimming, and just maybe do a couple of shorter triathlons as you get back into running. And that's exactly what I did. I also wanted to take the charity side of things to another level. I really enjoyed that we were able to raise a whole bunch of awareness and money for charities that needed it. And I approached the Comrades Marathon Association with a proposal to really take Comrades charity sort of drives to another level, and really grateful that they ended up buying into my vision of where I thought it could go, and got involved and got stuck in with Comrades in building this platform that we used to raise money. And they then also wanted me to go on their Comrades road shows that they did every single year to talk about the charity side of things. And funnily enough, with Lindsay being the Comrades coach, I ended up going on these road shows with Lindsay. And it was back in 2011 in a little hotel room in the middle of nowhere that I said to him, hey, why don't we start a podcast? And I was asking him lots of questions about my training and thought, hey, these would make great little podcasts. And that's exactly how Coach Parry, the business, essentially started. So I was given the opportunity to sort of hang out with Lindsay and pick his brain and find out what training I should have actually been doing. And in 2011, we really implemented all of that and continued with the cross training. Was getting stronger and stronger in the build up to Comrades 2011. I managed to finish my first Ironman and then went back and finished Comrades, which was absolutely incredible. I did also know that I had to go back because you're not a real Comrades runner unless you've done the up or the down. So I finished the up run, but I still had unfinished business with the down run. And then a year later went and finished the down. Since then, I've gone on to run another Comrades. I've done 5 Ironmans in total as well. So after Comrades 2012, I changed jobs and I was working for a national radio station. Then I had landed a job with the largest sports television broadcaster on the African continent. So I had this huge platform that we could use to drive and grow the charity side of things with Comrades, and I was really loving doing that and then building Coach Parry as a business. And at that stage, it was just Lindsay and myself in the business, and we were sort of trying to grow it as best we could. And in 2018, I decided to pack in my radio and television career and go full-time into Coach Parry, and it's been amazing. But building a business is hard, and what I found is that over the last few years, I've spent more and more time here in my office building this business than out there training, staying fit, staying healthy. And it's been a challenge. And it's hard to say this, but I feel like an imposter that I co-own this health and fitness business, but I'm not living up to the values that we aspire to as a business. So that's the reason for this video, and hence the reason for my call to Lindsay. I need help. We need to do this.
Cool. Have you thought up any goals? I mean, that's always the first place to start is to figure out exactly what it is you want to achieve, and then working backwards so that we know how long we've got to get you there.
Okay, I have given it some thought. We do have one slight problem though. I did have some eye surgery, as you know, just before Christmas, thanks to a detached retina. I'm seeing the surgeon again on Thursday for the follow-up, so I can't do any high impact stuff at the moment. So the only thing he's given me the green light to do is to walk. So I've been walking a little bit, which is good, but I can't do any running, can't be on the bike at all. So that's sort of where we are at the moment, which is probably not a bad thing, because as you well know, I'm one of those guys that sort of tries to do too much too soon. So this is kind of forcing me to take a step back and really build slowly. But as far as goals go, I'm nervous to set anything too big, but I'm dead keen to. I mean, long term, I'd love to run another Comrades, but I think medium term, I would love to do another marathon, and I think Sanlam Cape Town Marathon 2022 is a goodie. 10 months away. I think it's a stretch, but I think it's doable.
No, 10 months gives us a nice bit to work with, and obviously you've got an immediate short-term issue, and look, we don't know what the doctor's going to say on Thursday, so I don't want to preempt that, but not that withstanding, we will know how we can proceed from there. But I think for you, the most immediate short-term goal is to create the routine. And so if we can kind of spend this first week just setting up a routine for you so that you know what days and what time you've got to be out there. And so even if you can only walk and do some light strength exercise, and certainly, again, knowing you as well as I do, and your history and your injury history, strength training is going to be a biggie. But yeah, in the immediate short term, number one, habit. Number two, we've got to take a look at what's going in. So yeah, we probably also need to just have a look at what you're eating, and just start to create some discipline, some routine. Get the feedback from the surgeon on Thursday, and then that'll kind of lead us in the first 3 to 4 weeks, I guess. But I think what's really important is that I'm going to have to jump in the app, get you some goals, and your immediate goals are going to be turning those blocks green, trying to avoid any red blocks, and that's going to be, I think, the name of the game. Turn the blocks green.
Talking of what's going in, so I mean, we both know you can't outtrain a bad diet, and that is definitely an area that I have to get under control. I'm under no illusions that's something I do need to do. So I think probably first port of call, other than the surgeon, is to chat to Nikki and sit down with Nikki and see what Nikki can do.
Yeah, look, that is a good idea. Yeah, I've also worked with her for years. So one of the things she is going to ask for is A, what you're doing right now, which you can quite honestly say is zip, and then B, what you're planning on doing for the next month. So I can obviously provide her with that information, and yeah, and then we're gonna have to touch in regularly. I think in the immediate short term, the green blocks might not even be enough for you. It's going to be a question of, when we chat on a weekly basis, making sure that you know that there's going to be someone going, geez, Brad, you did well this week, or flip, Brad, what, are you serious about this type of conversation?
I mean, Lindsay, at the end of the day, I mean, I flip and know what I need to do. So it's just that I need to flip and do it.
Look, and I mean, last time you lost a ton of weight and you lost it quickly, but how bad is it really?
Yeah, I'm heavier than I was when I ran my first marathon.
Whew. So you're almost back. When we first crossed paths, we got you from there to a 10-hour Comrade. So let's see what we can do.
So it's time to start this journey. I'm heading out on a walk, because that's pretty much all I can do at the moment until I see the eye surgeon for the follow-up later this week. But in the meantime, if you'd like to follow along my journey, please do subscribe to the channel. We're going to be posting regular updates. If you'd also like to see the system that I'm going to be following, and perhaps you are making a comeback or wanting to get started, or perhaps just having this be your best running year yet, we recorded a pretty chunky video that goes into a lot of detail into exactly what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be doing it. You can click on the link that's on screen right now. And yeah, I really do appreciate your support. If you do see me out on the trails or on the road, I really do appreciate like a thumbs up or a high five. It is hugely appreciated. And let me know in the comments below if you are on a similar journey, or if you're wanting to make a comeback. Let us know in the comments below this video. We look forward to hearing from you.